This episode is brought to you by Raycon.
Initiating moisture.
I was an Animal Crossing virgin until New Horizons came out, and I have to say, this is not the kind of game I've ever really enjoyed, but this game fucking bangs. I've had so much fun, and I can fully see why so many people get so invested in the game. There's just so much to do in it, and it's a never-ending experience. Now, for me personally, I found most of the fun to be sharing the experience with others. I streamed a lot of Animal Crossing at twitch.tv/moistcritical, and the most fun would be when I opened up the floodgates and let the stream come in. I'd march right up to my airport staff, I'd say, "Orville, unlock that door." He'd look at me with tears in his eyes and say, "Charlie, please not again, we can't handle more of this." And I'd say, "Orville, open that fucking door." Falling into a deeper sadness, Orville would remind me, "Charlie, the internet's a weird place and we've had trouble with some of these degenerates using your island like a fleshlight. Are you positive?" And I'd say, "Orville, don't take that tone with me again. We're opening the gates." The PTSD would set in, he'd go into a hysterical fit, but he'd open those gates and we let the internet stream come in. And I basically turned my island into a sexual paradise. Basically, I turned my island into OnlyFans. And it was a magical experience. The community came together. I'd hire some of the people to water some of my plants while I was out fetching some wood so I could build another chair. There was just so much to do. The amount of things you can do in Animal Crossing is astonishing, honestly. And it wasn't just sharing the experience with my streams. Tiana and I played a lot of Animal Crossing off stream. She really enjoyed the grind, and it was fun playing that with her. So I think this is a game that fits extremely well for anyone looking for a really laid-back kind of game, or just a casual game to play with someone that's really not even a gamer. Because there's a lot to do. You can decorate your house in all kinds of different ways, decorate everything on the island, customize so much shit. You can terraform your island into multiple different ways. You can have fucking waterfalls running through your shit. You can really design something truly unique and fun. The only thing is, this is not a game I'd recommend to everyone. The pacing in this game is extremely slow, and I typically don't like that, but I didn't mind it in this game because, the grind was enjoyable. It's very colorful, the characters are fun to talk to. I just don't really have any complaints about the game, to be honest, but I see why a lot of people wouldn't like it, because the entire game is basically a giant fetch quest. It's a never-ending fetch quest series, and that's not exactly fun. The fun comes from when you complete that and then build your shit, but for a lot of people it's going to be pretty relaxing and even therapeutic to a certain degree just to cast your fishing line out there and catch yourself a golden trout at some point. It's just a really, really casual, laid-back game that has a lot of depth to it if you're willing to give it that chance, so you could really build something wild, a giant fucking empire on your island, and I appreciate that. The possibilities in this game are actually endless, and I mean that with no exaggeration. You can do pretty much anything you can dream of for your island. The customization is wild. I went to someone's island and they had their entire house decorated in Pokimane posters and also a satanic ritual room to try and summon Pokimane. It was crazy what they were able to do. The only negative things I can think about the game are just how slow of a burn it is. And again, I usually hate that, but I didn't mind it here, but I definitely see why a lot of people would. Especially the beginning in particular, it is super slow. You'll only be making like one fucking flower in the beginning, then having to wait a full day. Also, everything happens in real time, so one day in the real world is one day in the game. The only way around that is changing the time on your Nintendo Switch, which full transparency, I did. In fact, I time traveled 40 years into the future just to see what my island would look like. So I traveled to the far off future of 2060, and let me tell you right now, Tom Nook is an immortal. He might be a vampire, I'm not quite sure. Maybe the Fountain of Youth exists on the island. There's no real telling, but in 2060, it was identical to 2020, so a bit disappointed there. I was hoping, all the characters would have like graying beards or something, look like some fucking wizards out of a Tolkien novel, but that didn't happen. What I'm saying is, if you're going to play this without time switching, which a lot of people consider cheating, I don't. I don't see any problem with it. It's just progressing in the game at a different pace, at your own pace. Since it is a personalized experience, I don't see anything wrong with it, but there's a lot of people that take issue, and if you're not going to do that, you're going to be kind of bored for like the first 3 days because you're not going to have a whole lot of shit to do. It's very limited in what you have available to you in the beginning, and it doesn't really open itself up until you start really getting shit cranking, like in a week maybe. And that's not a bad thing either, because maybe For some people, the experience will be, hopping on the game for an hour or two a day and just doing some chores, getting some things set up, and then the next day the buildings are complete, and then you go from there. It's going to be different for everyone, and I really think it just offers a lot to just a casual experience that's really customizable. So, plugging Animal Crossing New Horizon into the Moist Meter, I'm giving this bad boy a 90%. I really didn't expect to like this game, but I ended up really liking this game. So yeah, that's about it. It's time to talk about Raycon again. I've recommended these bad boys plenty of times by now. I use them for the gym. I think they're fantastic when it comes to anything active. They're wireless earbuds. But let's face it, most gyms are closed right now, and you're probably not going to be going to the gym unless you're trying to weather the apocalypse. That's no excuse not to work out and be active, though. You can do all kinds of bodyweight exercises, calisthenics at home. And if you're going to be doing those, you're going to need some boner jams blasting. So you got to get some Raycon earbuds. They sound just as amazing as the other top audio brands, but they come in at half the price. The everyday E25s are the best model, so I still recommend that one. It's 15% off if you click the link in the description, so if you're interested in Raycon at all, feel free to click the link for 15% off.